Welcome to TalkAboutTopeka.com. I'm Chris Schultz. On this episode, we're going to talk with the Vice President and General Manager of Cumulus Broadcasting here in Topeka. Mr. Ron Covert joins us on the green couch. This episode is brought to you by the WIBW channels and The Break Room with their breakfast buffet and home-style lunch bar. Check it out Monday through Friday. You can even check their website out at breakroomdowntown.com. This episode starts right now. Well, folks, chances are you've tuned into the radio here in Topeka, and you probably be not knowing that this guy's behind the strings, pulling the strings for them. It's Ron Covert. He is the Vice President and General Manager of Cumulus Media here in Topeka. Thank you for joining me, Ron.
How are you? Good to see you.
Great, great. So Cumulus is actually, if you don't know where we are, we're typically right around 9th and Kansas. That's where our blimp hovers. But our studios are right next door to your studios here. You can actually walk down Kansas and see the DJs working.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a pretty cool little setup you got down there.
It's a great setup. I've been in radio studios all over the country, and we're fortunate to have one of the better facilities I've had the opportunity to be in. So yeah, it's really good. And if you come in early in the morning, you can see right there at the corner of 9th and Kansas, you can see Hooker and Mans in there doing their thing. And if that's something you want to look at, I don't know.
They got a face for radio.
They do.
Right?
They do. I'm not sure why we put windows, but yes. Sorry, guys.
And you guys have several stations that are there. How many stations are there?
We have 6 total in this facility. We have Magic 107.7. We have V100, the rock station. Eagle 99.3, classic hits. KTOP FM, which is 102.9, our country station.
Yep.
Then we have AM 1440, which is our news talk station, and then AM 1490, which we just switched to CBS Sports.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
So we've got a pretty good, pretty diversified portfolio for just about anybody that would want to listen.
Very good, very good. And how long has Cumulus been in the Topeka market? I know that the stations used to be kind of almost independently owned, and then Cumulus put them in one package. How long has that happened?
You know, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of the last 10 years or so. I don't know the exact timing of when Cumulus actually put it all together, but it's been within the last 10 years.
It sounds about right, yeah. Yeah, so the whole world, obviously the media world, has changed quite a bit. You know, and people look at radio and they don't necessarily know where it is. Tell us, you know, the state of radio today and, you know, where it's going for the future.
And how long's the show?
Well, if you got the time, we'll put it online afterwards.
It sounds like an easy question, but you know, I get asked that question a lot, and people ask me, you know, well, radio's dying out. You know, it's why are you still in radio? I've been in this business could be 24 years in April, and I love it, and I have been nervous from time to time. But when I first started in the business, I remember them people saying CDs were going to kill radio. You know, radio was going to be gone because CDs came out. Oh my gosh, you know, people are going to listen to whatever they want in their car, and so on and so forth. This was after cassettes and 8-tracks before that. And then I still will never remember when we were selling, and the cable company was so excited because they came out with the cable music channels. And oh my gosh, you thought that the world was going to end. That's going to put an end to radio. And I thought, you know, until they find out a way that you can actually attach a cable to your TV set, put it in your car, and drive down the street, I think we're going to be fine.
Right.
And again, cable television and or the music stations on cable have a great place. But they didn't take the place of radio. As long as radio was able to stay local and able to give people and stay free and be able to give people the resources they need to find out where to buy their products and what the weather was going to be like and what the sports were and et cetera, and the local news, radio remained relevant. And then the advent of satellite radio came, and then and iPods and streaming radio and all that stuff all kind of came out, and everybody's like, oh, radio's heading downhill fast. At the time when all this happened, radio reached around 92% of all Americans, 12 plus every single week all across the country, which is a pretty staggering
huge
number.
Yeah.
And I think when all this new media started hitting, radio did take a hit, and it fell down to around 88, 89%. And so we're like, okay, well, then it kind of leveled off, and we're like, okay, I'm pretty sure we can still live with 88, 89%. Well, what we've found now is that after kind of the newness of the media wore off and everything kind of settled in, radio's now crept back up in the last few years back to 92%.
Oh, wow.
And it's settled in at a good solid 92% of all Americans. As a matter of fact, I was reading something just the other day, because I hear from advertisers and from people all the time that, well, you know, radio might be good for old people, but you can't reach those 18 to 24-year-old adults because they've all got iPods in their ears and they're never listening. Well, the funny thing is, among 18 to 24-year-olds, radio still reaches 53% of that segment of the population every single day, which is actually more than iPods, satellite, and internet radio combined. Now, iPod, satellite, internet radio, they all have their place. But again, radio still, and that's a daily reach, that 53% of those people every single day. And that's a nationwide number, and I would venture to guess that in Topeka it's probably even a little stronger than that. So.
Wow. Wow.
So radio, as long as we are able to stay relevant, and as long as we're able to continue to provide people with free entertainment, free news, sports, weather, all the information they need, and you know, some people might not agree with this, but the commercials to find out where to buy your products.
Yeah.
You know, those are important things for the local economy and for radio itself.
Well, and you kind of think about the fact that you can get a CD player. I mean, you have a CD player in your car. You could be listening to that, or you could just turn it on the radio, and somebody else is doing all the work for you. And kind of, I mean, there's something to be said about you know, having a DJ or a personality that you might wake up to and get in your car and drive, and there's a little bit of familiarity there. So that, I mean, there's comfort in that.
Yeah, we like to think radio is kind of, you know, it's the one-on-one media, you know, where the person in the studio might be talking to the masses, but you feel like they're talking to you, and that's something that makes it kind of special, and that's something that you can't get with necessarily with iPod and some of the internet radios and things like that. So.
Yeah, and it's safe to say Cumulus is a huge company. You guys are based out of, is it Georgia?
Atlanta.
Atlanta, yeah, Atlanta. And how many stations, like, in the whole network are there? There's tons, isn't there?
Geez. Well over 100 markets now and over 500 different radio stations.
Wow.
We actually have a cluster of stations in Kansas City. You know, Cumulus is continually trying to find the best ways possible to continue to reach out to the audience and to stay relevant to the audiences and to the advertisers, because quite honestly, the only revenue that we get is from advertising. You know,
right.
We don't sell subscriptions since it's a free service, and all we do is sell advertising. So we have to make sure that we keep as many people listening and give as many access points for the advertisers to be able to talk to people that want to buy their products.
Well, and it's very, I mean, it may be a large company, but what you do is a very personal thing that's identifies itself with the community. You see, you know, the stations are always, you know, helping to promote events and things happening that are going on in Topeka, and so it's a big company, but it really is, it does have that personal feel. Yeah,
you know, we have to operate as our own little business unit inside of our markets, and we have to be very involved in the community. You know, one of the first things that I did here when I first took the job in Topeka, Vince Fry from downtown Topeka reached out to me to go have lunch, and we ended up making a $100,000 advertising donation to the downtown Topeka, just for them to use at their discretion to promote downtown events. We host a car show with 99.3 The Eagle. We have over 500 cars. It'll be, I think, May 4th this year.
That is huge.
And thousands of people downtown, and it's just a huge event for the community, and brings, and that's local radio stations helping the local community, and that's really what we want to do. And you know, Topeka's fortunate that we've got some great television properties that get involved locally. We've got great radio stations that get involved locally, and I don't think that the community always realizes just how lucky we are to have some great local media.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we do. We have a great. It's a great city. That's what we got to say. And you guys serve the stations out of there. Also serve the Lawrence area. And what's kind of the market? Oh,
you know, we reach really from Manhattan all the way to Lawrence, and even a little farther east. But for the most part, we try to focus on Topeka, and then kind of branch out as need be, but really we figure if we take care of our home base here in Topeka and the surrounding area, that we'll be in pretty good shape. there's a lot of people and a lot of businesses to take care of. We can't reach too far out.
Yeah.
We can't reach nearly as far as the signals go. So.
Wow, very cool, very cool. Well, Ron, I thank you so much for coming and joining us and telling us a little bit about Cumulus Broadcasting. So you guys can all tune in. You can see, the Listen to KMAJ Morning Show, even though we picked on those guys earlier. But I can't let you go until we have the lightning round. It's the lightning round segment. Put 60 seconds on the clock. I ask you the silly questions with no yes or no answer, so don't worry about that. And we'll see where we end up at the end of that, all right?
Sounds good.
And go. What's the first thing you would buy if you won the big lottery?
Wow. The first thing I would buy, I would probably buy a big trip to take my entire family.
Sounds like fun. If you need somebody to carry the bags, let me know. If you're going to throw a party, what would the theme be?
Oh, wow. Old West.
Old one. Good one. Good one. Give us one word that best describes your personality.
Intense.
All right.
That wasn't hard.
Where'd you attend high school?
I actually graduated from Columbine High School in Littleton, Colorado.
No kidding.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
You learn something new every day?
Yes. I even graduated.
Congratulations. What was your first job?
I worked for McDonald's.
Oh, wow.
In the mall. In Littleton. As a matter of fact.
Let's see. If money was no object to you, what would you spend your time doing?
Doing martial arts.
Very good, very good. And what's your favorite television show to watch every Tuesday night at 9:30 on my TV?
Oh, talk about Topeka.
Yay! There we go. Ron, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate that. And good luck with everything at Cumulus.
You have
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of TalkAboutTopeka.com. I'm Chris Schultz. If you enjoyed what you saw here, you can help our guests by sharing our links with your friends. You can also find out everything that's going on with us by following us on our website at TalkAboutTopeka.com. You can also be sure to like us on Facebook, you can follow us on Twitter, or you can send us a message on Gmail. Thanks so much for tuning in.